In my last video, I talked about all of the new makeup releases coming out for the holiday season this year,
2024.
And in this video, I'm going to take a look at what I talked about, then look in my makeup collection to see if I have anything like it, and I'm going to do a full face of makeup I already own inspired by the new makeup releases in the hopes to scratch the itch and not buy the new releases. Baby bangs, the baby bangs, the baby bangs. The baby bangs, the baby bangs, the baby bangs, the baby bangs, the bangs, the baby bangs, the baby bangs. The baby bangs, the baby bangs, the baby. Mama sprung. Mama pulled out the wallet. Mama bought some Diet Dr. Pepper. I didn't talk about a lot of complexion or any complexion in Critical Sass. That tends to be the case when we head into holiday season. Holly's a lot about blush, highlight, lip color, eyeshadow, not so much complexion. So I'm just going to quickly run through that. I'll put what I'm putting on my face on the screen. We'll play a little music for you. We call that a montage in the biz. And the lower third will tell you what I'm using. Welcome to film school. In Critical Sass, I talked about the new Ilia face palettes. My problem with it is basically it's like face palette. Blah. I hate face palettes just in general, not just because it's from Ilia. It seems like this is a baked formula. And when I looked in my makeup collection, I pulled out 3 things that I know for sure I would like better than trying that Ilia palette. For bronzer today, I'm going to be using this product from Chantecaille. It's the Chantecaille Sunbeam Cheek and Eye Shade in the shade Ray. This product is a couple of years old. I bought it whenever I did my budget year, and I have been really loving it for bronzer these days. When I first bought it, I was using it more so as a blush, but I really like it as a bronzer. I find that the shade is pretty unique when it comes to using it as a bronzer. It just kind of has like everything in it. It's a little red, it's a little orangey, it's a little pink. This best of all worlds, and it has a nice little glow to it. I'm sure that Ilia is fully capable of making a beautiful baked product. I already have this to use as my beautiful baked bronzer. And what's really special about using this is that it was limited edition. I have it and I'm getting use out of it, which is like really the most I could ask for. I love using products in my collection that I've had for a long time that when I pull them out, I still feel something like I feel excitement about them. And I think the excitement of using this is so much more than whatever buying the Ilia palette would bring me. Not that I think the Ilia palette would bring me much joy as it is, because I just don't like face palettes. I say it so much on my channel. I just don't think about makeup like that. Face palettes are going to be really good for people who like travel or take their makeup with them to work to touch up. I don't do any of that. I just like one thing being in each compact, save like an eyeshadow palette. But even these days, I have been more into thinking about eyeshadows as singles as opposed to palettes. Beautiful, glowy, airbrushed finish. We love to see it. So for blush day, we can kind of reference the Ilia palettes, but my inspiration for the blush I chose today was more so the Gucci blushes that I talked about in Critical Sass. My opinion on the Gucci blushes, I've had one of the Gucci blushes before, is that they are simply fine. There's nothing spectacular or special about them. And I think when you're paying that much money for a product, that it should feel exquisite, and they don't feel exquisite. But a high-end blush that I think is worth it, that does feel exquisite, are the ones from Serenade. Now, this is a little face palette. which contradicts what I just said. I wish these were all in their own individual packaging. Surratt's smallest compact size is for 2 blushes. Otherwise, they're in this like slidey container that's really annoying that I would also hate. So today's look is going to be a little more cool toned because we have a lot of smoky things coming up, which I'm very excited that the trend this year is seeming to be like gray cool. Not that I think every brand is really succeeding in that, but I know that Huda's releasing their like icy nude palette. The Makeup by Mario palette seems to be a little more cool toned. I thought we could go to an old favorite of mine, Barba Papa. Barba Papa. It's a Barba Papa with Barba Papa on the cheek. It's funny because Barba Papa, now that I live with the child, I feel like I say it more like him than I said it at the time. I was like, Barba Papa, the Barba Papa. I don't know why it makes me want to say it in French, which is like, I'm not doing a French accent. I'm certainly doing some really terrible Swedish accent, but it's like, Barba Papa, tu es Barba Papa, il est Barba Papa, je suis Barba Papa. Barba Papa. Barba Papa is such a special shade. It's this cool toned pink that has like this icy blue sheen to it. And on my skin tone and with the looks I like to do, it's just so pretty and gorgeous and stunning. The Gucci blushes don't make me feel that way. None of the shades I feel make me feel that way, and the formula is just not good. The thing about the Surratt formula is it applies to the face and melts into the skin just so gorgeously that like I don't have to worry about it. And I feel like with the Gucci blushes I had to like not super fight to make them work, but like it wasn't like easy as 1, 2, 3. It was just like, here we are, we're done. Beautiful, gorgeous Surratt. We didn't really talk about any special highlighters. I was gonna talk about the one from Hermes, and I actually cut that from Critical Sass, but the new Hermes highlighter looks really, really gorgeous, but Hermes is super expensive. The thing with Hermes so far is like, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying a passion for this kind of thing. I am buying a passion for them designing packaging and maybe color. I'm just not buying it, Gia. I don't understand what Hermes is going for. So I like don't really feel like I want to buy from Hermes. But also there's highlighters in the Ilia palettes that I mentioned earlier. And I think both formulas are baked. So I put out a baked highlighter that I'm very fond of. And it's the newest to my collection. I didn't say this in the intro, but I keep my makeup collection kind of segregated. So makeup that I'm testing, and then makeup that's like my makeup, the makeup that is mine, makeup that I have like a permanently mine. That's my makeup, not like just makeup that I'm testing. So I try to, when I'm doing Critical Sass, only pull from my makeup, not the makeup that I'm testing. And this is like one of the newest things I've added to my makeup collection is the Hindash highlighter in La Luna. It's just so gorgeous. Like I can't stop using it. Hindash, I don't know, like Hindash, my love, my Gorgina really did it. And I don't normally like fall that fast for something like this highlighter is like, it's in contention for being best of the year. If I were to rank every product that I tried this year, I think it would be close to number 1. That or the Lisa Eldridge skin tint. There's complexion, gorgeous. Gorgeous. I swear to you, I literally think that all the stuff that I use today, all the stuff that I have already fallen in love with once or many times over is giving me a better face to makeup than any of the things that I used instead. Like, look at my skin. Gorgeous, blended, highlighted, shiny, gorgeous. Like, it's just like, I didn't prep my lips. Kelly Gooch, don't yell at me. Kelly Gooch, don't yell at me. Kelly, get away from the keyboard. I'm just doing my makeup in peace. Let's talk eyeshadow. I'm going to prep my eyes real quick and then we'll talk about eyeshadow. I used the NARS Smudge Proof eyeshadow base and I topped that with my skin tone shade eyeshadow, and that's what I've done for prep. It's always what I do for prepping my eyes. We talked about a number of things in Critical Sass when it comes to eyeshadow. 'Tis the season. It's eyeshadow time. It's Morphin time. It's eyeshadow time. We talked about the Roxa palette, which is the purple palette from Natasha Denona, which I have no interest in duping. It's not my favorite kind of color of eyeshadows. It's like not for me. I don't care about it. Boot. I don't care about that. There's the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes Moonlight Edition. I told you in Critical Sass that I had already bought it and it is here. We won't be using it today and we will be essentially trying to dupe it even though I have it in my hands. I have some thoughts forming about this already. What should happen is the next video I post should be a detailed review of this with the comparisons to the original Ethereal eyes. Subscribe if you're not already, if that's something you would like to see in your feed. But we are going to use the Makeup by Mario palette as inspiration, at least for the mattes. When I first looked at this palette, it reminded me a lot of the Cool Matte palette from Viseart, which I had a long time ago. Like whenever I started my channel in 2017, like my first try at doing YouTube, I was using this palette nonstop. I did a review of it. It's funny because I think one of you found it not that long ago and commented on that video. It's not a great video. It's a 7-minute long review, which it's, you know, there's some merit to having a short review, but I prefer a more long form video now. I don't know if you can tell. I panned 2 of those eyeshadows and they're like completely panned them, and I had hit pan in many of them. The eyeshadows just got old and they weren't working as well. I think what will be very nice to do is to go into this. This is my Viseart Grand Pro 1X palette, and a lot of the shades I think from the Cool Mattes palette from Viseart are in here. I'm going to be using a lot of like the cool tones in here, so like the gray, the blue, and kind of create a blend of mattes. We will only be using the Makeup by Mario as inspiration for the mattes, and then we'll talk about some other things I'm using as inspiration. I got my hair cut today, and the one thing about getting your hair cut is like there's just hair everywhere. It's like crazy how much hair just gets everywhere. And we just touched up the sides. We didn't cut the back or anything. I know my hair is wet in this video and you're just gonna have to deal with it. I showered for you. Do you smell me? And do I smell good? I actually do have a fragrance on right now. My friend Ananda, who's Medium Olive on Instagram, has a perfume company called Gather, which is a natural perfume company. It's my birthday and she sent me over some things that I think you'll be excited to see. If you follow me on Instagram, which is at hautemesstom, if you don't already follow me and you'd like to, that's my handle over there. I showed you some of the goodies, but the rest of you, if you don't follow me on Instagram, just wait. And I think you'll be excited about what Ananda sent my way that wasn't working for her. I'm very curious. I've only really touched what she's given me so far. Let's go back together before I get too far. One of the perfumes, I smelled them all, but one really stuck out to me, and it's called the Almond Tree. It was a limited original micro batch spring 2024. There's a card that has the notes on it. The prominent notes are bitter almond, cedar wood, culinary leaves, I don't know what that means, and natural lactonic accord. It's not sweet, but it, you know, I think that almond really gives me like, it gives me like burnt almond torte vibes, but it's not a gourmand. Like there's no buttercream or like vanilla scent that I'm getting, but it's nice and warm. And it's the wood that comes through with the almond. It's like, okay, follow me here. There's a bar in Pittsburgh called Industry Public House, and they do this beverage, this drink called the Smokestack. And what it is it's like you pick a whiskey, and then what they do is they smoke the whiskey. It's not mixed with anything. It's just straight whiskey. I think I've talked about this on it kind of smells like that, but it doesn't smell like alcohol. It just smells beautiful. Like it smells so good. I guess I have been describing a lot of the fragrances I've been enjoying recently as cocktails. I don't want you to think that I mean that they smell like cheap fragrances that like just kind of smell like alcohol. That is not how they smell. They smell so good, like an artisanal cocktail, which I don't think they often smell like liquor. But anyway, I'm very into it. It's a nice change of pace. I have been wearing that Merit fragrance, which I talked about also in Critical Sass. I've been wearing it, I don't know, for like 2 weeks now. It's so good. But this is a nice way to change it up. And it's, my friend made it. Like my friend made it. Like that's crazy. That's crazy. Not like in a collab way. Ananda just like made that. Viseart shadows perform a lot like Makeup by Mario's eyeshadows, especially the matte. I think most of note that we can use to compare the two is that they just are a little bit powderier, more powdery, I guess is another way to say that. I find that those really powdery shadows tend to just really give me a very good blend. And I think that's what I'm getting from Viseart. It's been a while since I've used my Viseart mattes, but playing with them again today, it's like, the best in the biz. I could have also used my Hindash palettes if I really wanted to get something similar. So we're going to play with a couple shimmers, but before I put those on my eyes, I'm going to use Ash from Victoria Beckham in my waterline. So I have a couple shimmer shades to talk about. We talked about a couple of different shimmery eyeshadows. So the first thing I talked about were the new e.l.f. sparkly eyeshadows that are seemingly meant to be a dupe for the Moondust eyeshadows from Urban Decay. And I have a couple of the Moondust shadows from Urban Decay. I have Space Cowboy. I could also use this to talk myself out of buying the Space Cowboy inspired star-shaped palette Moondust thing that Urban Decay is releasing. So, I mean, I have this. It's sparkly eyeshadow. I have the real thing. I don't need the alternative to the thing because I have it, but that's not something I'm interested in. So what I would really like to take the time to do today is the Patrick Ta eyeshadow duos. Now, there are images now, so hopefully I can have the images up here, and I'll show you the two that I was interested in buying. The price hasn't been announced officially, but the Makeup Release Instagram accounts are speculating that they're going to cost $42 each. I didn't know this when I filmed Critical Sass. This is something that I think came out last night. The price that they were talking about, $42 for an eyeshadow duo. Some of you might come at me sideways and be like, don't you own Chantecaille eyeshadows? A singular shadow costs more than one of the duos? Yes. However, doesn't one of Patrick Ta's eyeshadow palettes that has the 2 creams and then 10 additional shades cost like $59? I need to know why these duos are $42. Like, I gotta hear something. Follow my logic here. So Chantecaille stuff is all very expensive. Like, it's all absurdly expensive. So a $50 singular eyeshadow is not absurdly priced in the realm of what Chantecaille makes. It is an absurdly priced eyeshadow. When Chantecaille releases duos and quads, they cost almost double what the single shadows cost. But the single shadows are like a baked formula, and their palettes don't have the same formulas that the baked shadows in. So like, there's something there. What is going on with these shimmers that they cost so much money? Because if they're like or similar to the formula that you put in the palette that you released last year for holiday, if it's that formula, that palette did not cost $150. You like have to give me a little more. Is there an upgrade in packaging? What is it if it's $42? I don't want to spend $84 to buy 2 Patrick Ta eyeshadows. I don't know what he's doing. I have a lot of thoughts about it because he also priced his foundation. His foundation at Sephora, it's like more expensive than most of the foundations Sephora carries. And it's just like, who do you think you are? Why are you pricing things like this? You're going to price yourself out of your consumer because it's just not what you've been pricing yourself at this point. It's jarring. It's confusing. I don't know why he's chosen to do that. These are the 2 ones that I was more interested in. And I think everyone is really interested in this Minky one. What I also mentioned in Critical Sass is that the Hypnotizing Pop Dots from Charlotte Tilbury are back in stock. And I have to imagine that the finish of these is going to be very similar. I don't think that the formula is going to be similar at all. In fact, I hope what Patrick Ta is releasing is the most gorgeous, perfect, no creasing, stays all day formula that ever exists. It must for that price point. But I'm going to use my Smoky Quartz because I love it. I was going to try to repost a YouTube short, but I'm not really sure how to do that. But I did like a spotlight on this, and that short showed what the eyeshadow looked like when it was brand new. And I like did a swatch. There's a close up of it. I really use this. I think this is 2 years old because I think I reviewed Charlotte Tilbury 2 years ago. Isn't that bananas? Time really does fly by. I'm going to use a glitter primer for the base of this. Look at it. Look at Smoky Quartz. I mean, look at it. Get into that. Shut up. Smoky Quartz is still like so good. It's still so good. It's still so freaking good. Look at it. Should we do Sparkle Cam? Let's do Sparkle Cam. We talked about a couple different lip products in Critical Sass, but what I really wanted to hone on is the Isamaya LipLaq 2.0, the new shades that they're releasing. I already have one of the LipLaqs from Isamaya. As you can tell, it's very well left. I've used almost half of it. So I really like this product. My main qualm with this product is it's a pretty expensive product, and I don't think it performs as a $38 product. And that's what they're charging for it. And I just don't think it's like that luxury of a formula. If this product was in the high 20s, I would be much more comfortable buying it and like recommending it to you. But it does give me the white ring if I wear it and I talk a lot. It gets a little gummy in the corner of my mouth, but I really like the effect of this lip gloss on the lips. This shade of it in particular, this isn't really a strong color. here, it's just more of like a taupey topper kind of thing. And one of the new shades is like kind of pinky. And I thought what I could do is do a little bit of a lip combo and lay this down and then top it with the Isamaya LipLaq. As a lip liner, I'm going to be using the CoverGirl Outlast lip stain. And this is the shade Brazen Raisin. Next, I'm going to be using the Signature Lip from Merit in the shade Baby. Then I'm going to take a disposable lip gloss wand as to not dirty the main paddle of the actual product to get in there and use as a topper. Okay, basically kind of proving to you and myself that I don't need the new Isamaya LipLaqs, at least not until I'm done with this one, because I can really use this one and mix it with other things to get the same effect of maybe having one of those. Obviously, the reflect in this isn't going to be exactly the same. If I wanted to put a bright pink lip on and then top it with this, I can. If I wanted to put a black lipstick on, I could do that, sheer it out, and top it with it. I can do whatever I want with it because it's so sheer and get a very super slick lip. I don't need the new ones. I'm going to throw on some mascara. I'm going to use the Clean Lash from Merit. And that's going to wrap up this episode of the Aftersass. I think I got a very gorgeous, cool-toned, stunning look that I could have gotten with those new products, but I already did it with what I already own. Spoiler, or like kind of aside, I did buy the Makeup by Mario palette, but there's, you know, there are layers to what I'm doing here. Like my relationship with makeup is going to be different than yours because I'm here creating content and reviewing things, which adds context to what I'm doing. But I think this is a worthwhile activity to do with your makeup collection. If you are hyped about something, take a moment to look at your collection and try to dupe it. If you love sparkly eyeshadows, you probably already have sparkly eyeshadows in your makeup collection. What will that Patrick Ta one add other than it's new? What's that going to do for you? It's just a question to ask yourself. If you get to the other side of that question, you're like, it's still going to be worth my time and money to buy that new thing, then great. But at least you paused for a second before buying the thing. And that's what I want to try to do here. So if you are new to my channel, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I would love to have you subscribe. A lot of what I try to do on my channel is to help myself and help you be more discerning about the makeup that we are buying. I do get PR and I do get reviews, and I try to be as honest as I can about those things whenever I do them so that you can walk away with information that might be worthwhile for you. So I'd love to have you stick around. Make sure you like this video and share it with anyone you think might find this video worthwhile. I'm on Patreon and I have channel membership. I do an additional video for channel members and patrons every month. That's just a different way to support me, not necessarily a better way to support me. I'm so happy that you are here and watching, but thank you to all my current members and patrons. You are wonderful. And anyone who's ever been a patron or member before and stopped for whatever reason, thank you as well. In my pinned comment, I have links to help families in Gaza through Operation Olive Branch. I also have links to help people who were affected by the 2 hurricanes that recently went through America. You can check those links down below. If you have the means to support anyone, please support those causes before you support me. Only support me if you can do both. If that's what I would rather you focus your time and energy on. I'm so happy that I can be here for you to be a little reprieve from the world, but there are big things going on in the world and we have to keep paying attention to them. That's going to wrap up the video. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to follow your heart and you'll find me, and I'll see you in a video very soon. Go forth, tits out.